Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game, and proceeding. And here we are in the main menu, going to edit that menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Keter Sanctuaries, Majesty Lord Blaster, D-BT05. Alright, let's just use this empty slot here, create new deck. And selecting the nation, Keter Sanctuary, and here we are. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building today's deck profile video is a Keter Sanctuaries, Majesty Lord Blaster deck, made with cards only available up until D-BT05. So first up, let's go to Filter Settings, Pack, Show only cards available from D-BT1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-BT2, A Brush with the Legends, D-BT3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-BT4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-BT5, Triumphant Return of Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, and Promo Pack number 1, Apply Filter. Alright, so first, the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s of this deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 3, Majesty Lord Blaster, Skills for skill, continuous as a Vanguard. If your soul has a Blaster Blade and a Blaster Dart, this unit gets plus 2000 power and plus 1 critical, active on opponent's turn 2. Second skill, Auto as a Vanguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, perform all of the following. You can choose to perform only one. First skill, cost, put a Blaster Blade from your rear guard into your soul. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Second skill, cost, put a Blaster Dart from your rear guard into your soul. This unit gets plus drive plus 1 until end of turn. So for Majesty Lord Blaster, it's the main Grade 3 to run its deck. The first skill, as long as Blaster Blade and Blaster Dart is in your Vanguard soul, your Vanguard Majesty Lord Blaster gets plus 2000 power and plus 1 critical for as long as those 2 Blaster cards are in the soul. And the best part is, this skill is active on your opponent's turn 2. So for the first skill, so long as Blaster Blade and Blaster Dart is in your soul, this skill can be used for offensive purposes by pressuring your opponent with the extra power and critical, but also for defensive purposes to make your opponent have to amass a little more power to be able to deal attacks to your Vanguard. And the second skill, whenever your Majesty Lord Blaster and your Vanguard attacks, you can choose to activate one or both of the effects. Either put a Blaster Blade from your rear guard to your soul to retire an opponent's rear guard, or put a Blaster Dart from your rear guard to the soul to increase your Vanguard's drive check by 1. Or you can choose to activate both skills as long as you manage to amass the necessary cards to activate the effects. So for the second skill of Majesty Lord Blaster, it's a good way to not only wipe out your opponent's rear guards, but to also increase your Vanguard's drive check, making it easier to potentially pressure or finish off your opponent with the extra drive checks with the potential of getting either triggers or at least to increase your hand size for later turns. So for Majesty Lord Blaster, we're putting 4 in the deck, putting 1 in the right deck. Next up, the Grade 3, Knight of War Damage, Pasado, Skills for skill, continuous as a rear guard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. Second skill, Auto as a rear guard. When this unit attack hits, counter charge 1, soul charge 1. So for Pasado, it's a pretty good card to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks for its first skill. It cannot be chosen by opponent card effects, so this is like a resist ability for your Pasado. For as long as Pasado is on your rear guard, it cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, giving it defense against skills that retire, bind, lock, return the deck, return the hand, or any other skills that your opponent can use to target your rear guards. Your Pasado will be kept safe thanks to this first skill. And the second skill, whenever this unit's attack hits on either the opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, you can counter charge 1 and soul charge 1, making this second skill a good way to not only refund your counter blast for later skills, but to also build up your soul for later soul blasts. So for the Knight of War Damage Pasado, we're putting 3 in the deck. Okay, next up, the Grade 3, Normal Order, Bravery to stand against, Will to pierce through, Skill, Order, play this with a counter blast of 1 if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in its card name. If the cost is paid, search your deck for up to 1 Grade 2 unit card with Blaster in its card name, reveal it and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. So for Bravery to stand against, Will to pierce through, it's a support card for the Blaster series decks. Its skill, as long as your Vanguard is a Blaster, by paying the cost of counter blast 1, you can search your deck for any Grade 2 Blaster, like for example Blaster Blade or Blaster Dart, reveal it and add to your hand. So this order skill is a good way to amass the necessary grade 2 blasters to activate Majesty Lord Blaster's second skill later on. So for Will to Pierce Through, we're putting 2 in the deck. Okay, next up, the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2 says deck, we're playing Ride Deck, grade 2, Blaster Blade. Skills for skill auto. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard circle, counterblast 1. If the cost and paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If you do not retire, draw a card. Second skill auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle, counterblast 1. If the cost and paid, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater rear guards and retire it. So for Blaster Blade, it's the main grade 2 to ride this deck. It's for a skill. When ridden on the Vanguard circle by paying the counterblast of 1, you can retire one of your opponent's rear guards, and if no rear guards are retired by this skill, you can draw 1 card instead. So for this first skill, just by riding your Blaster Blade and having the counterblast ready to pay for it, you can either wipe out your opponent's rear guards or to restock your hand with more cards with the draw 1's effect. And the second skill, just by calling to the rear guard and paying a counterblast of 1, you can retire one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards. So for the second skill, Blaster Blade, it's also a good way to wipe out your opponent's rear guards. So overall, Blaster Blade is a powerful grade 2 Keter Sanctuary unit to play as either your Vanguard or rear guard. So for Blaster Blade, we're putting 4 in the deck, playing 1 in the right deck. Okay, next up, the grade 2 Knight of Loyalty, Bedivere, skill auto. When this unit is placed on the rear guard circle from hand, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, cost, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. If the cost and paid, search your deck for up to 1 Knight of Friendship K, call to a rear guard circle in the same column this unit, and shuffle your deck. So for Bedivere, it's a pretty powerful Keter Sanctuary Nation unit to play in your deck. Just by calling it to the rear guard from hand, as long as your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and you can pay the cost of counterblast 1 and soul blast 1, you can straight away search your deck for a Knight of Friendship K and call to the rear guard in the same column as the Bedivere who activated the skill, thus securing yourself a Knight of Friendship K who can boost your rear guard Bedivere for its later attacks. So for Knight of Loyalty Bedivere, we're playing 4 in the deck. Okay, next up, the grade 2 Blaster Dart. Skills for skill auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard or rear guard, counterblast 1 and retire one of your other rear guards. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it, and this unit gets drive +1 to end of turn. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if your rear guard was retired this turn, this unit gets +5,000 power. So for Blaster Dart, it's one of the main support cards to be played in the Majesty Lord Blaster deck. It's for skill. When riding or calling Blaster Dart, by paying the cost of counterblasting 1 and retiring one of your other rear guards, you can retire one of your opponent's rear guards, and if a Vanguard Blaster Dart was used to pay for the skill, it can get drive +1 as well. So for this first skill, it's a good way to not only wipe out your opponent's rear guards, but if you choose to play Blaster Dart as your grade 2 Vanguard, you can get drive +1, increasing the chances of getting a trigger or to restock your hand for the upcoming turn. And the second skill, as long as one of your own rear guards are retired during that turn, for the remainder of that turn, your Blaster Dart can serve as a potential 15,000 point attacker from the front row. Okay, so for Blaster Dart, we're putting 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great One lineup. For the Great Ones, this deck we're playing the Ride Deck, Great One, Little Sage Marin. Skills for skill auto. When this unit is ridden upon by a grade 2 with Blaster in its card name, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 with Blaster in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you do not reveal a card, choose a Wingull Brave from your soul and call it to rear guard. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. During your turn, if you have 3 or more units, this unit gets +2,000 power. So for Marin, it's the main grade 1 to ride this deck. It's for skill. Just by riding a grade 2 Blaster card on top of it, you have the chance to take the top 7 cards of your deck to search for a grade 2 Blaster, either Blaster Blade or Blaster Dart, and add to your hand. And if none of the specified cards were revealed by this skill, you can instead superior call your grade 0 Wingull Brave from the soul to the rear guard. So for Marin's first skill, it's a good way to either secure yourself a Blaster Blade or Blaster Dart, and in the event that you fail to get any of the either 2 blasters from the skill, you can instead superior call a grade 0 Wingull Brave to boost it from the back row. And the second skill, as long as you've got 3 or more units, Vanguard and rear guard included, your rear guard Marin can serve as a potential 10,000 point attacker for the front row or a 10,000 point booster for the back row. So for Little Sage Marin, putting 1 in the deck, putting in the right deck. Next up, the Great One. The great one, Aegis Mare Dragon, Sentinel, Perfect Guard, skills for skill, Continuous Sentinel. You may have only up to 4 cards of Continuous Sentinel in the deck. Second skill, auto. When this unit is placed in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from hand and discard it. So for Aegis Mare Dragon, it's a perfect guard for the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Its skill, when like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same activation and conditions. When used to guard with and discarding a card from your hand, you can block one enemy attack, but it also features an ability unique to all these standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Aegis Mare Dragon a no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Aegis Mare Dragon, we're putting 4 in the deck. Okay, next up, the Great One, Painkiller Angel, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, Soul Blast 1 and retire this unit. If the cost and pay, draw a card. So for Painkiller Angel, it's a pretty good card to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks per skill after boosting an attack, regardless if the attack hits or not. As long as you don't mind paying the cost of Soul Blast 1 and retiring Painkiller from your own rear guard, you can draw a card. So for the skill, Painkiller is a good way to restock your hand for your upcoming defense against your opponent, or for increasing your options for your next turn's offense just by drawing more cards to increase the possible chances of getting a card you want, or to just simply use more cards in your hand to prepare yourself for the upcoming turns. So for Painkiller Angel, we're putting 3 in the deck. Okay, next up, the Great One, Knight of Friendship K, skill, continuous as a rear guard. During the battle, this unit boosted a Knight of Loyalty Bedivere. This unit gets plus 5,000 power. So for Knight of Friendship K, it's a support card for the Knight of Loyalty Bedivere. Its skill, whenever it boosts Bedivere, it gets plus 5,000 power. So as long as this Great One is behind Bedivere in the same column, when boosting, it gets plus 5,000 power, making K a 13,000 point booster for the Knight of Loyalty Bedivere on your rear guard. Alright, so for the Knight of Friendship K, we're putting 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great Zero lineup. For the Great Zero's deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Great Zero, Wingall Brave, skill, auto. When this unit is written in the pawn, if you went second, draw a card. So for Wingall Brave, it's the starting unit of this deck. Its skill, when you ride on top of it, if you're the second to go, you can draw a card. So for Wingall Brave, we're putting 1 in the deck, putting in the Ride Deck. And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we're playing the Great Zero, Blade Feather Dragon, critical trigger, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost and pay, choose one of your units. It gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Blade Feather Dragon, it's a powerful critical trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Its skill, after boosting an attack, regardless if that attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Blade Feather from your rear guard to your soul, you can give one of your other units, your Vanguard or rear guard, plus 2,000 power. So for Blade Feather Dragon is a good way to not only restock your soul for later soul blast, but to also give one of your remaining attackers in the field a little extra power to work with. So for Blade Feather Dragon, we're putting 4 in the deck. Next up, the Great Zero, Knight of Heavenly Hammer, Gurgant, critical trigger. We're putting 4 in the deck. And next up, the Great Zero, Protection Mage from Robbie, draw trigger, skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Robbie, she's a powerful draw trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Her skill, when used to guard with while your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, she gets plus 5,000 shield, making Parabi a potential 10,000 point shield all on her own. So for Protection Magic Parabi, we're putting 3 in the deck. Okay, and next up, the Great Zero, Invigorate Sage, draw trigger, skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this is the battle, is its second attack this turn or more. So for Invigorate Sage, it's a pretty powerful heal trigger to play in your Keter Sanctuary Nation decks. Its skill, when used to guard against an opponent's attacking unit, does attack twice or more that turn. Invigorate Sage gets plus 15,000 power until end of battle, making Invigorate Sage a potential 25,000 point shield against opponents who specialize in attacking multiple times with either their Vanguard or rear guard, making Invigorate Sage a very good defensive card to use against such opponents. So for Invigorate Sage, you're putting 2 in the deck. Next up, the grade 0, Healer of Heavenly Staff, Arches, heal trigger, putting 2 in the deck. And last but not least, the grade 0, Light Dragon Deity of Honors, Amatonia, over trigger, skill, trigger, additional effect. Until end of turn, you also perform drive checks for the battles your rear guards attack. So for Amatonia, it's the over trigger for the Keter Sanctuary Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. And it also features a skill unique to it alone. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the rest of that turn, your rear guards can also perform drive checks. So for Amatonia, it's a very powerful offensive trigger to play in your turn. When revealed, your rear guards can perform drive checks, increasing the chances of getting a trigger to potentially pressure or finish off your opponent with, or to even increase your hand size for your upcoming defense just by drive checking more cards to add to your hand. So for Light Dragon Deed of Honors, Amatonia, we're putting 1 in the deck. Alright. The deck has been built, card effects explained, so let's just save the deck. Deck save. And for the cards in this deck, we're playing 3, grade 3, Knight of War damage, Fasado. 4, grade 3, Majesty Lord Blaster. 2, grade 3, Bravery to Stand Against, Will to Pierce Through. 4, grade 2, Blaster Blade. 4, grade 2, Knight of Loyalty, Bedivere. 4, grade 2, Blaster Dart. 3, grade 1, Painkiller Angel. 4, grade 1, Aegis Mare Dragon. 4, grade 1, Knight of Friendship, K. 1, grade 1, Little Sage Marin. 1, grade 0, Wingall Brave, starting unit. And for the triggers in this deck, we're playing 8 critical triggers, 3 draw triggers, 4 heal triggers, and 1 over trigger, Amatonia. Alright, deck built, card effects explained. Now let's first change the deck sleeves, change sleeves. For the sleeves in this deck we're playing, let's see. For the main deck sleeves, we're using the... Alright, for the main deck sleeves, I'm gonna be using the Keter Sanctuary Nation sleeves. For the main deck sleeve, press A. And for the right deck sleeve, we're using the Majesty Lord Blaster sleeve as the right deck sleeve, press Y. And now let's just change the deck's name, change deck name, renaming it. You can only use 10 characters, okay, then we're just gonna name it Majesty Lord Blaster's initials, so M. L. B. Majesty Lord Blaster. Alright, decks and built, card effects explained, deck rename, and card sleeves change. Now let's get on testing out the deck, so leaving the edit deck menu, return to main menu, back to main menu, going to fight menu, going to CPU fight, selecting the deck I just built, the Keter Sanctuaries Majesty Lord Blaster D-BT05 deck. Selecting deck, now choosing the opponent. Okay, who would be a good opponent to test this deck out on? Let's see. Okay, then I'm gonna test this deck out on Doshi Nakano, normal difficulty. And the battle begins, let's get started. And here we are, we're gonna decide who goes first. So rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to scissors, I lose, going second. Alright, drawing our starting hands. I got, let's see, a Knight of Loyalty Bedivere, a Knight of Friendship K, a Painkiller Angel, Majesty Lord Blaster, and probably draw trigger. Okay, let's see. I gotta hold on to the Majesty Lord Blaster to Persona right with, and I guess I can hold on the Painkiller to use its skill to draw more cards. And since I can already use Betavir's skill to Superior Call K, I guess I'll just hold on to Betavir, Painkiller, and Majesty Lord Blaster. I'll just return K and my draw trigger back. Redraw. 2 critical triggers. Ah, come on, seriously? Alright, the battle begins. My opponent goes first. He rides the Great One, Nigel. Alright, end of my opponent's turn. My turn. I draw a Perfect Guard. Not bad. I'm gonna ride for my right deck, Little Sage Marin. And for the right deck cost, okay, let's see. You gotta hold on to Betavir to use its skill to call K. Hold on to Painkiller to use its skill to draw more cards. And hold on to Majesty Lord Blaster to Persona right with, so... And I gotta hold on to the Perfect Guard as well, so I'll just ditch for the 2 critical triggers for the right deck cost. I'm discarding Gurgit for the right deck cost. Right, Little Sage Marin. Wingull Brave skill, I draw a card. And I'm drawing a Blaster Blade. Nice. Alright, that should be enough, so going to battle phase. Marin attacks the Vanguard, 8k to 8k. The attack goes through, drive check. No trigger, Betavir. Alright. And boom, 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger, Perfect Guard. Nice. End of turn. My opponent's turn. He's gonna ride the Great 2. Randor, skill of Nigel. He's going to Soul Charge. He Soul Charge a Gojo, okay? He calls Scout Terra, Eateris, and give a Brachio, alright? Oh, that's a lot, okay? Let's see. His rear guard attacks for 10k, Vanguard for potentially 15k, and the rear guard for 20k, so my defensive cards are a critical and a Perfect Guard, and potentially one of the 2 Betavirs in my hand. Okay. I guess I'll block the first attack, and then, let's see, I guess I'll let the remaining 2 attacks, Vanguard and the Give a Brachio boosted by Eateris to go through, so I'll block the first attack. I'm guarding with a Knight of Loyalty Betavir, 5k. Guard, 13k. Attack blocked. Safe. And next up, Vanguard the Vanguard. He's using his skill. He's counterblasting to Soul Charge and adding power. 15k to Vanguard. No guard, took the hit. Here it comes. Drive check first. Gojo. And out. Damage check. No trigger. K. Okay. And now, okay, 20k in total from Give a Brachio. I'll let the attack go through. No guard. Out. Damage check. No trigger. Perfect Guard. Not good. Alright, end of my opponent's turn. My turn. I stand and draw. I drew a draw trigger. Alright. I'm gonna ride for my right deck. Blaster Blade. For the right deck cost, I gotta hold on to Betavir and Blaster Blade to use for rear guards. Painkillers as well for a skill. Hold on to Majesty Lord Blaster to Persona Ride. And the Perfect Guard to defend with, so I'll just ditch one of the 2 triggers for the right deck cost. I'll ditch the draw trigger for the cost. Ride, Blaster Blade. Blast Little Sage Marin skill. When I ride a Blaster on top of him, I check the top 7 cards of my deck for a Great 2 Blaster. Success, I got Blaster Dart. Adding Blaster Dart to my hand. And Blaster Blade skill, I counterblast 1. And retire one of my opponent's rear guards. I'm going to retire... let's see... I'm going to retire the back row Eateris. Next up, I'm going to call Knight of Loyalty Betavir to the rear guard. Call skill of... And going to call Blaster Blade to the rear guard. Call skill of Blaster Blade. I'm going to counterblast 1. Retiring Give a Brachio. Alright. And next, I'm calling Painkiller Angel to the rear guard. Call. That should be enough. Going to battle phase. First up, Betavir attacks the rear guard Scout Terra. 10k. The attack goes through. Slash. 1 rear guard down. Now my rear guard Blaster Blade attacks the Vanguard. 10k. The attack goes through and slash, 1 damage, damage check, no trigger, safe, okay. Now boosted by Painkiller Angel, Blaster Blade attacks the Vanguard, 18k. The attack goes through, drive check, no trigger, K, alright. And here comes my attack, 1 damage. And slash, 1 damage, damage check, no trigger, okay. And that's the end of my turn. No, wait, not yet. I'm gonna activate Painkiller Angel's skill. I Soul Blast, Wingull Brave, retire Painkiller, and draw 1 card. The card I drew was another Bedivere, okay. Alright. My opponent's turn, he rides the grade 3, Eugene. His Randor skill, he draws a card, he calls Baradigno, alright. He's going in for the attack, okay. His Vanguard can attack for 13k, his Rearguard for 13k, then I guess I'll block the first attack and let the Vanguard go for the next one. So I'm gonna intercept with Bedivere. Intercept. Total 15k, attack blocked. Safe. Baradigno skill, it returns the hand, okay. Vanguard to Vanguard, 13k. No guard, take the hit. Drive check. Ah, critical trigger, come on! This timing. Alright, all effects to Vanguard. And second check. Oh, come on! Well, at least he wasted a front trigger, so I guess it's not too bad. 2 damage to me. Here it comes. Bang, 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 boom. Ow! Damage check first. Basado, no trigger. And second check. Ah, critical trigger. Wasted a trigger. I guess I'll just waste all the effects, give it to Vanguard. Alright. That's all for my opponent. It's the end of his turn. My turn, standard draw. I got another K, alright. I'm gonna ride for my right deck, Majesty Lord Blaster. For the right deck cost, let's see. I gotta call Blaster Dart. And let's see. I have 2 Ks in my hand, 1 in the damage zone, 2 Bediveres in the drop zone, and 1 in my hand. So, okay, I got very few Ks left, so I gotta hold on to the Majesty Lord to Persona Ride, Blaster Dart to use Majesty Lord's skill, the Perfect Guard to defend, and my deck's almost out of K, so I gotta hold on to him, so I'll just ditch one of my Bediveres to... Wait, hold on, let's see, in my damage zone, I got 1k, in my drop zone, I got 2 Bediveres, 1 in my hand, 3 out of the deck, so... Yep, there's the same 3 Bediveres out of deck, 3 Kanes out of deck. Okay, then... tough choice. Okay, I think I'm just gonna drop one of my Ks in my hand. Yep, hold up, drop K to ride for my right deck, Majesty Lord Blaster. There we go. Next, I call Blaster Dart. Not gonna use its skill. Next, I call Knight of Friendship K. And Blade Feather Dragon to the rear guards. Alright, that should be enough. Go into battle phase. First up, boosted by Blade Feather, my rear guard. Blaster Dark attacks the Vanguard, 14k. He doesn't guard, okay. Slash, 1 damage, damage check. No trigger, safe. And Blade Feather skill, I move it to the soul. And give 2000 power to... I guess... Let's see... I guess I'll just give it to... Majesty Lord. Now boosted by K, Blaster Blade attacks the Vanguard, 18k. He guards with a critical trigger, okay. The attack is blocked. And now my Majesty Lord Blaster attacks the Vanguard, skill activated. I'm going to move one of my Blaster rear guards to the soul, My opponent has no rear guard, so no point in moving Blaster Blade. Wait. Choose a card to place in the soul of the cost, okay? Well, I guess I have to put both, so... Alright, my opponent double guards for 43k to 17k, so over trigger to pass, first check, heal trigger, heal 1 damage, and power to Vanguard, I guess. If I can get an over trigger, the attack will break through. Second check, no trigger, okay. Then that's the third check, heal trigger, okay. Cannot heal, but I guess I'll give all effects to Vanguard, trigger effect wasted. And attack blocked. So, okay, that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent's Persona riding Eugene, not good. Next, he's going to battle phase, okay. 23k, I cannot risk the chance of him getting a double critical, so I'll just perfect guard with my Aegis Mare Dragon. For the perfect guard cost, I'll discard, let's see, if I recall, the Eugene has no restanding attackers in its build, so I'll just ditch the grade 0, Invigorate Sage for the perfect guard cost. Keep Twin Drives, first check, no trigger, Idris, and second check. Critical trigger, alright! I made the right choice for perfect guard. The attack is blocked, I'm safe. And okay, attack blocked, I'm safe. And that's the end of my opponent's turn. It's my turn, stand and draw. Alright. I Persona Ride, Majesty Lord Blaster. Persona Ride. I got Blaster Dart, nice. Next, I'm calling Knight of Loyalty Bedivere to the rear guard. Bedivere's skill, I Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. And search my deck for Knight of Friendship K. Still have 1 left in the deck, putting it in the same column as Bedivere. Next up, should I play the order card? No, not yet. There's no use for Blaster Blade in this effect yet, so I guess I'll just... Yep, I'm just gonna call Blaster Dart. I'll save the order for the next turn. Calling Blaster Dart to the rear guard. Call. Not gonna use its skill. That should be enough. Go into battle phase. First up, boosted by K. Blaster Dart attacks the Vanguard, 28k. The attack goes through and slash, 1 damage, damage check. No trigger, perfect guard, nice. And now Majesty Lord Blaster attacks the Vanguard, 25k, skill activated. I move all of my grade 2 blasters in my rear guard to the soul. I'm moving Blaster Dart into the soul. My Vanguard gets drive +1, 43k, 48k, 25k, over trigger to pass. First check, no trigger. Second check. No trigger, another Persona Ride, nice. Third check. Painkiller, no trigger, alright. Attack blocked. And now boosted by Knight of Friendship K, Bedivere attacks the Vanguard. Skill activated, plus another 5,000 power. 33k to the Vanguard. He double guards. 43k. Alright, he blocks the attack. So that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. My opponent is going to call Scout Terra and Idris, skill of Eugene. He rests 2 rear guards. He retires K from the rear guard. Not good. And Idris' skill, adding power. Nope, retiring another rear guard. Bedivere is gone. Eugene's skill, he's going to Soul Blast 5 to Superior Call up to 4 rear guards. He calls a full field. 2 triggers out of the deck, okay. The rear guard attacks the Vanguard, okay. His Vanguard can attack for 28k, so I should let the Vanguard go through. The remaining rear guard only is 10k, so okay, I'm gonna block the rear guard first. I'm gonna guard with a critical trigger, 30k. Attack block. And now, Barrow Dick no skill, return the hand. Nope, goes to soul, giving more power. Alright, 33k to the Vanguard. No guard, gonna take the hit. Key Twin Drives, first check. No trigger, Gojo, safe. And second check. No trigger, Barrow Dicknell, safe. So 1 damage. Here it comes, 1 damage. Ow! Damage check. Heal trigger. Cannot heal, so I'll just give all the effects to Vanguard. And okay, the remaining attacker cannot attack, so it's the end of my opponent's turn. My turn, stand and draw. Perfect guard, not bad. I Persona Ride, Majesty Lord Blaster. Persona Ride, and I drew Blaster Blade, not bad. Next, I play Order card, Bravery to stand against, Will to pierce through. I Counterblast 1, and search my deck for a Grade 2 Blaster. I'm adding Blaster Dart to my hand. Alright, that should be enough. Next, I'm calling to the rear guards. Blaster Dart. Not activating Blaster Dart skill. I'm calling Blaster Blade. Call. Should I use its skill to retire his Grade 2 rear guard? Yeah, why not? I'll pay the cost. Activating Blaster Blade skill, Counterblast 1. I'm retiring his front row rear guard. Retire. Okay. Next, I call Painkiller Angel to the rear guard. Call. That should be enough. Go into battle phase. First up, Blaster Dart attacks the Vanguard, 20k. The attack goes through, nice, and slash. Damage check. No trigger, 6 damage, I win. That wasn't too bad. The deck worked out pretty well. I managed to draw the decent cards needed to activate my Majesty Bullet Master skill for the whole game. Managed to procure enough offensive and defensive cards. So, okay. I got Win, Double Trigger, Perfect Guarded, did a Persona Ride, 8 turns passed, did a Superior Call, retired 5 or more opposing units. I got 1800 PP, total 10,925 PP. Press A to go next. Leaving the fight, return to fight menu. And back to fight menu, leaving fight menu, return to main menu. Back to main menu to edit deck menu. And with that, the deck's been built, Cardfight explained, and I just finished testing out the deck in front of you. And so first up, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. Also, you all show your support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.